Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Daniel, one half of the Kwak Brothers. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about should I buy or should I rent? But I'm actually going to be commenting and critiquing a video that I watched about a couple days ago with this guy named Dave Ramsey. And I know he's a pretty popular guy out there when it comes to finances. Now, guys, I don't know Dave Ramsey. In all honesty, I haven't watched too many of his stuff. If I'm going to be honest, out of the stuff that I've seen from him, I do disagree with a good chunk of what he says, actually. But this video is in no any way trying to bash him or trying to say he's wrong or me trying to prove him wrong or anything like that and say that I'm right and I'm smarter. Guys, that's not what I'm doing here. For me to make a judgment on him without me knowing him and getting to know him a little bit better and researching more into what he preaches and what he says, in his words, it'd be, that's just stupid, right? But I want to make this video for me to share kind of my own thoughts on this situation. And fortunately, I've only seen this video about once or twice, so the commentary is still going to be fresh. So without further ado, let's go ahead and click the play button and get started.
Jason is in Miami. Hi, Jason. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Awesome. Hey, I have a quick question, whether I should rent or buy according to my current financial situation. So I'm 25 years old and have about $85,000 in cash in the bank. And I do live at home still, but I definitely want to decide whether to rent or buy in the next, say, 6 months.
Good.
Get out of my parents' house.
Okay.
So I was wondering what you would do in my situation.
Very good. What do you do for a living?
I own a photography business and an online e-commerce store, and then I also have some income property, 2 income properties in Georgia.
Excellent. Excellent. Are they both paid for?
Yep, both paid for, and they produce about $550 in cash each, so it's about $1,000 a month that I receive.
Excellent. So what is your income these days?
It's about $90,000.
Way to go. And you're 25 years old, and you got 80 grand in the bank.
Yep.
Ding, ding. Well done. Well done. Are you...
All right, so before we get any further, first off, wow, dude, whoever this Jason guy is, great job. Dude, that's freaking awesome. You know what I mean? So Dave Ramsey right now is kind of just, I guess, asking a bunch of questions in terms of, what he's doing, how much money he's got saved up, what his financial situation is. So it's an interesting question of, should I buy or should I rent? Should we buy or should I rent? And this is a question that I get a lot, with webinars that I do and live calls, and even with some of my coaching clients, they ask me, Daniel, should I buy or should I rent? So interestingly enough, I feel like I could add an interesting perspective, I guess, as a real estate expert, but more so as a guy who is in a very similar situation Jason is. I also happen to be 25 years old. I just turned 25. And yeah, I do make a good chunk of money, and I own real estate. And I also own a lot of different businesses. So, I think it's cool seeing another fellow millennial, especially when they tell us we're all lazy. It's nice to see a fellow millennial who's absolutely killing it out there in the entrepreneurial world and, has a bunch of real estate paid off. But in terms of the question, should I buy or should I rent? I'd be really curious as to why Jason is asking that question, because if he's got 2 income properties that's already paid for, it kind of sounds like he's very business savvy and knows what he's doing in the world of real estate investing. Maybe he doesn't have a whole lot of experience, but the first question I have is just like, why is he asking the question in terms of should I buy or should I rent? So let's go ahead and continue the video and get more information.
Seeing a young lady at this time?
No, I'm single.
Okay.
And that's my concern, which is it'll be one income, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm worried about whether I should buy something or rent, and then figure out later on in life whether I should buy.
Okay.
I just think renting is essentially throwing away money, especially in Miami where it's so high to rent.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also expensive to buy too, so I would be buying an older, smaller apartment, which would be 20% down and homeowners association every month. So I can't really afford a home per se.
Well, you can. You just have to think about how you did it.
Right.
But it's you're a pretty industrious young guy. You got a lot of stuff going on. Very well done. Very well done. Well, I mean, I'm with you. You move out within 6 months and get yourself established in terms of paying your own bills and those kinds of things. And it's okay if you rent. I don't want you renting as a way of life. But there's people get in such a hurry to buy. Well, renting sometimes is just patience. And so if you rented for 6 months and during that time you piled up some more money, and you had a real strong down payment, he caused you to buy a different property that was a better property, well, that would have been a good thing. But I don't want you renting for 6 years.
Right, exactly. And like what I thought about is if I do buy a small apartment, a small apartment, essentially, if I do outgrow it in 3-4 years, can I just rent that out and then that covers my mortgage and then I decide what to do later?
Yeah, you could. You could get it paid off and then keep it like you've got those other properties that are paid off, and they're money-making machines when they're paid off, baby.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and I kind of let it play for a little while because I wanted to get some more information on, number one, what advice would I give to Jason, if he was asking me, should I buy or should I rent? And, kind of just also see this Dave Ramsey guy, what is his style? What does he like to preach? So far, just in this video alone, right? Like, I don't think he's wrong in a whole lot of things. I do disagree with a couple things here and there, especially when he says that don't let renting be a way of life. I disagree with that because, for you, Jason, if you're, or any other millennial entrepreneur that's out there, or millennials in general, I know for me and a lot of other people in my age group, we love the aspect of mobility. We like being able to travel and like doing those things. And well, if the least amount of time we're spending is our place of residence, then, why shell out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a house or to make those payments every single month that could hold you down? So, I think if this guy wants to rent, for me, it's like, yeah, let him. You know what I mean? He's already got a lot of other stuff going on. Clearly, he's not a guy that's out there buying a Ferrari, every weekend and has to live in a huge house, because I've met entrepreneurs who they overspend, and in this question of should I buy or should I rent, it kind of sounds like Jason already knows what he's doing. But it's another question I would ask, because he brought up at the end there that, why not get a small apartment and then after he moves out, rent it out? That's not a bad idea. But I would take it a step further. Jason, it sounds like you're very business savvy and you're very ambitious. Why not just get like a 4-unit? Why not get a 4-unit or 5-unit or 3-unit? I'd say probably closer to 3 or 4. That way you're still under the residential aspect and you could get different forms of financing. But you've got $85,000 sitting in the bank. Why not treat your acquisition of a primary residence as an investment? And one thing that I wish that people would have talk about more in this whole buying and renting question, whether should I buy or rent, that I haven't seen this Dave Ramsey guy bring up so far is the market. It's absolutely the market. So why not just buy a 4-unit, treat it as an investment? That way you still have the mobility to be able to move out, and yet you're not wasting away money. You're not throwing away the money, as Jason says. So let's go ahead and continue and get more information.
So
yes, I just don't know if I should just buy the apartment and then,
it's okay, because here's the thing.
Later on, or if I should just...
As long as you don't buy something that can never be sold because it sucks so bad.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You can sell it if you don't like it in 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my son Daniel bought a home, and a year and a half later, met the young lady of his dreams, and 6 months or 8 months later, they were married. And we were actually talking about it this weekend, and she likes the house that he bought just fine. But it's always going to be his house that he bought. And so at some point, they will change houses, just because the old joke is that you didn't know you bought the wrong house until you marry the girl and she tells you. Right? That's the old joke. Now,
okay, so I have to stop there because the joke that he made is absolutely true. Because I actually bought, so I own my own house right now, and it's a decent house. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Definitely not on the cheaper end, but so I bought my house, and it wasn't until my girlfriend Lisa that I've been dating now for 18 months. And we're actually planning on getting married in 3 months. And one of the things she said to me was like, "We got to renovate the house." And I thought there was nothing wrong with the house. And also, he's got a great laugh. Reminds me of Dr. Hibbert from The Simpsons. But in terms of going back to what we're saying here, so I feel like he did say something that struck me a little bit as kind of like, I don't know if that's 100% true. He did say never buy something that you could resell again in two years. I think that's totally dependent, right? So yes, there's some truth to that, but I also feel like that's a very large blanket statement, because it like with anything else, it depends on the investor, right? Just like how, it's like people could say, well, 95% of businesses fail within the first 3 years. Well, does that mean that we should never start businesses? No, absolutely not. So it always depends on the investor, right? Because you could buy something and 2 years, right, you're not able to sell it, but you could switch up the exit strategy. you could change the way you increase or you bring in the income for that particular property. And again, going back to the market, I mean, yeah, don't utilize your money when you're in a market that's bad to buy. You know, that's just foolishness. You know, what you should do is like with any other investing, right? And again, I said it before in this video, when it comes to the question of should I buy or should I rent, treat it like an investment. And when you're investing, you want to buy in a place and a time where you're getting most bang for your buck, right? That's huge. And that's why I say get a 4-unit building by way of either a short sale or a contract for deed. And do both because, well, it's going to allow you to have the most bang for your buck. And I know right now in Florida where this guy is living, this Jason guy, you know, one of the things that I failed to see with, you know, Dave Ramsey mentioning is the fact that when you're in Florida right now, man, there's this thing called short sales that's booming up. I got a partner that lives down in Florida and he owns 7 different real estate companies. And he's saying they're getting the most property leads from short sales. So, I mean, it sounds like this Jason guy that's speaking to Dave Ramsey, you know, it sounds like he knows what he's doing when it comes to business, and he shouldn't have any problem going to a bank and, you know, executing a short sale or even buying something on contract for deed where you can negotiate the term, the interest rate term a little lower so that you could increase your wealth, increase your principal that you're paying down, you know, and so you could make it advantageous for you. And that's something that I wish entrepreneurs and real estate investors in their 20s would do a lot more. Focus on paying down more principal and building that long-term wealth. Let's go ahead and finish out this video.
That Allison wasn't doing that to Daniel, but and your girlfriend of the future might not do that to you. But no matter what you buy, you're going to change a phase of life when you do get married and have kids, and you're probably going to move again. So it's okay. It's okay. If you buy you a nice little condo there, get you something going in the Miami area, and as long as it's something that can be resold, that you don't get yourself stuck in something, then just sell it when your life changes a little bit. But it's okay to rent for 6 months, and even before you do that. But again, just number one, real estate's not permanent. You don't have to keep it forever. There's no rule that says you have to stay there forever, especially if you buy carefully and watch what you're doing, and you've been wise so far. Number two, if you're single and you buy a house, know that there's a probability that you're probably going to sell that house when you do get married later, especially if you're in your 20s. That's just a...
Okay, so the video is pretty much over. And, you know, again, I don't think I'm going to waver from what I've said so far, you know, with this Jason guy in terms of what Dave Ramsey is telling him in terms of should I buy or should I rent. I would tell him the same thing. You know, as a real estate expert, I would say, dude, just, you know, short sale or buy on contract a 4-unit building. And that way, when you do meet the girl of your dreams, and again, I can totally relate to what this guy is saying. You know, I was at one point, you know, I was young, I was making a lot of money, and I was single at the same time. All 3 of those things, right? It was probably about a good 2 years of my life that was like that with those 3 things. And so, yeah, you know, be in a position right now where you want to have mobility, but at the same time where you don't want to throw away that money. Because I did hear Jason say, you know, I feel like renting is essentially just throwing away money. Put yourself in a situation where you're not doing that, where you're renting out 3 other units that take care of your mortgage, your expenses, and also giving you some cash flow on the side. And on top of it, when you're able to move out, you find the girl of your dreams, you're able to move out and you buy a nice big house or whatever you want to buy, you're in a position where you own more income that gives you income passively, right? Because I don't know what owning a photography business is like, but I imagine it's not as passive as real estate, or owning an e-commerce. I imagine it's not as passive as real estate either. So, you know, I know for a fact that, you know, when you're in a position where you want to settle down and, you know, with the woman, you know, of your dreams and you want to buy a house, you probably want to start spending more time. I know personally, my girlfriend, Lisa, always tells me to stop working. And so I know exactly what you're going through, you know, this Jason guy, I guess. So overall, you know, I don't think I disagree with a whole lot this Dave Ramsey guy says. Maybe I'll do a little bit more research on him. But in terms of the question of should I buy, should I rent, should I buy or should I rent? You know, that's my take on this video. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any other questions relating to should I buy or rent, I know that's a really popular topic, or, you know, any questions on what Dave Ramsey says about something like this, feel free to comment down below, you know, and feel free to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every Monday at 11 a.m. we do a real estate investing Q&A, 11 a.m. Central Time. So, you know, buy or rent is a question that I get frequently. You know, Daniel, should I buy or rent? Should I buy or rent, right? I haven't heard too much about Dave Ramsey, but maybe I'll check out some of his other videos. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Much love to you. I'll see you guys in the next one.